Hello everyone, Saturday morning coffee with Kendra coming right at you. We're going to go over 3 rules today, 12, 13, and 14. And then next Saturday, I'm going to wrap all of them up in one little video. How fun will that be? It's noon. I can't believe I'm still drinking coffee. Rule number 12, it says woman. And it kind of doesn't do us justice, women, so don't be upset. When you hear the word woman, maybe you can think of a dog or something like that. The enemy acts like a woman in being weak against vigor and strong of will. Because as it is the way of the woman when she is quarreling with some man to lose heart, taking flight when the man shows her much courage. And on the contrary, if the man, losing heart, begins to fly, the wrath, revenge, and ferocity of the woman is very great. And so without bounds in the same manner, it is the way of the enemy to weaken and lose the heart. His temptations taking flight when the person who is exercising himself in spiritual things opposes a bold front against the temptations of the enemy, doing diametrically the opposite. And on the contrary, if the person who is exercising himself commences to have fear and lose heart in suffering the temptations, there is no beast so wild on the face of the earth as the enemy of human nature in following out his damnable intention with so great a malice. What? Okay, so what St. Ignatius is saying here is that, like a woman, if she is in a relationship with a man, and maybe they're in an argument, and all of a sudden the man starts backing down and gets a little weak, the woman is going to get pretty confident, maybe even arrogant, maybe even pompous, maybe even looking at him and belittling him with voice and attitude, etc., etc. If you're having that argument and the man stands firm and is bold and aggressive, then the woman isn't going to be going after him. As a matter of fact, she may cower down and back up and regret the words that she said and take them back. This is how the enemy works. You can kind of look at it like a dog. If a dog is coming after you and you're fleeing, it is going to chase after you even more and bite at your heels. But if a dog comes at you and you stand firm and you pretty much give it, slap it back. Well, I don't want you hitting dogs, but you know what I mean. Like give it a good old, hey, I'm the master, you're not. It will cower. It will behave. So the point here is that we must fight and be aggressive. Don't wait. Don't have a conversation. Don't think about it. The minute that you see the attack coming your way, absolutely be bold, because he will flee from you. Don't be running in the other direction like a coward. Be bold and fight, and the devil will flee from you. So, James 4:7, when it says flee from the devil and the devil will flee from you, it doesn't mean run away like a little baby. It means fight, flee from him. Don't fall for his ploys. Be aggressive. Okay, rule 13. Likewise, he acts as a licentious lover in wanting to be secret and not be revealed. For as the licentious man who, speaking for an evil purpose, solicits a daughter of a good father or a wife of a good husband, wants his words and persuasions to be secret, and on the contrary displeases him much when the daughter reveals to her father or to the wife, her husband, his licentious words and depraved intention, because he easily gathers that he will not be able to succeed with the undertaking begun. In the same way, when the enemy of human nature brings his wiles and persuasions to the just soul, he wants and desires that they be received and kept in secret. But when one reveals them to his good confessor or to another spiritual person that knows his deceits and evil ends, it is very grievous to him, because he gathers from his manifest deceits being discovered that he will not be able to succeed with his wickedness begun. Again, what? I mean, come on. If someone's going to try to have an adulterous affair with you, they're flirting with you, they're hitting on you, and you're married, and you share this with your spouse, it's out in the open. That guy, that girl who's trying to do evil things, and it could be evil working through them, by the way. It's called oppression when the evil one uses other people. Once it's out and not in secret, what are the chances that that's going to succeed? This is another reason why I say you've got to have an accountability partner. Someone who you trust, someone who is spiritual or on the path. Even though my husband may not be going to Mass with me, he is a good and righteous man. And God speaks through him all the time. And when I'm working on things or when I'm trying to change, I'm telling him what I'm looking to do. Or if I've hid things from him, I'm telling him that too. If you've listened to my last podcast, I have come clean to my husband about my pornography way back when. I didn't have to tell him. I could have just taken it to God. But I wanted him to know. And I wanted the devil and all of his demons to know that I told him too. But make sure that you go to someone who is spiritual. Do not go to your gossipy, worldly friend when someone's hitting on you or when you've had a dispute with your spouse, because they're going to be like, oh, he's such a horrible guy. Go get someone else. He's never made you happy. That's not the person you're supposed to go to. And if you happen to be falling or considering or contemplating this sin, then go to confession. We have that sacrament there for a reason. Wash yourself clean. It's like a demonic shower. Get them all off of you. All of them. Remember, he is evil and he loves to lie and keep things secret. So get them out in the open. Don't forget to tell an accountability partner, someone who's spiritual, and use the sacrament of confession. Alrighty, rule number 14. Likewise, he behaves as a chief bent on conquering and robbing what he desires. For as a captain and a chief of the army pitching his camp and looking at the forces or defenses of a stronghold, attacks it on the weak side. In like manner, the enemy of human nature, roaming about, looks in turn at all our virtues, theological, cardinal, and moral, and where he finds us weakest and most in need for our eternal salvation, there he attacks and aims at taking us. So the evil one knows our root sin, pride, vanity, sensuality. He knows our weakest spots, and that is where he attacks. So we ought to know what our root sin as well is. Pray to Our Lady of Sorrows to find your root sin. Is it pride? Do you take too much credit for yourself? Do you not humbly ask God into your life? Do you not every day offer yourself to him? Or do you just kind of go about your day in a lukewarm state, not fighting the battle, being selfish, all about yourself, and not having a virtuous walk? That's kind of the pride. Vanity. Vanity is caring too much about what we look like, but also caring too much about what other people think of us. And therefore we do things that are worldly so that we can please other people. Our value and our worth is in what they think, not what God thinks. And then of course there's sensuality, which is my root sin, which is all about comfort and pleasure. Not wanting to step out of the box, not wanting to make any big changes. Even though you hate the life that you have right now, you just don't like change. And you are sucked into all of the evil pleasures that this world has to offer. So the demons know your root sin. Sorry, you should too. And you should know that that is where they will attack. It's time to be aggressive. It's time to really get in the game and get engaged. If you are not paying attention, if you are allowing yourself to go in and out of these emotional fits And if you're allowing yourself to be tempted, then you are not engaged. You're not living the 24-hour journey right now. And you're not asking for the Holy Spirit and Mary and Jesus and God the Father and your guardian angel and all the holy angels and saints and your archangels up there to help you. You're doing it on your own. You might even be lukewarm, and you know what happens. He spits you out. And then if you're lukewarm and you're not really in your prayer life, then you're in desolation and you can't feel God. And it's this like wicked spiral. And that is what you got to stop. So let's just make the decision to stop that today. Let's say, okay, I'm done. I am going to engage. And I'm going to tell you, I've been getting up at 5 a.m. all week. And I have been praying up until about 7:15. And then I record my podcast. This is what I used to do when my husband wasn't retired. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And now I am back. I am loving it. It's only been a week, but I'm telling you, I have learned so much about everything this week. It's crazy. Let me give you an example. I was getting up every morning with my eyes almost sealed shut. I could not even open them. And in some cases, I was yawning and yawning and yawning. I was not going to allow Satan to win. So I did a lot of deliverance prayers, but you know which one I did not remember? The spirit of infirmity. And when you look at that, that's diseases and illnesses. And what's included in that is exhaustion and an overwhelming sense of sleepiness. So on Thursday night, I found that gem and I started delivering that spirit. Friday morning, I woke up and I felt great, but I was still thinking that I was tired. My body is my lower faculty and it was saying, I'm tired. But I was paying attention to the actual body itself and it wasn't tired. So I did not go back to sleep because it was pretty early. It was 4:30. I thought, I don't need to be up yet. I'll go back to sleep. But then I felt great. And I'm like, why would I go back to sleep? And that was when I realized my prayer the night before might have something to do with how I feel. Alrighty, everyone, I'm going to head over to the Soul, Mind, and Body group. We're going to talk about spiritual endurance. How do you keep it up? How do you keep it exciting? How do you change it up? Because some of you may be in a spiritual rut. If you want to join, click join down below. It's $4.99 a month. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Find something more with God, everyone. Soul, mind, and body. Get engaged. This is your life we're talking about and your eternal salvation. Have a blessed and inspired day.